All right, I always loved doing this, so I figured I'd film it before I started the review of the Utopias. This is where I get to turn all the amplifiers on, like in a movie. That gets on, and I'll turn that on, and I'm gonna turn that on, flip that, and this, and that, and the Earman. That wallpaper's in the Horde, but not the one I'm using for this video, and I gotta clear up a little bit more of the desk, and oh baby. Let those all warm up beautifully. So, after all the rigmarole of turning everything here on, I forgot one very important amp, TA26, the real tube amp. And because I turned that on and tested it, Black Ice Fusion F11. So, here's the thing, this is a $5,000, as you can tell from the gemstones, a headphone, and I've done a lot of these recently, and it's kind of worrisome because I just did the Rawls, which is a very specific ribbon tweeter headphone, and I just did they're sitting over there, my cat. I did the Bravura, which is an electrostatic headphone, and then these are sitting right next to it, and I was not in the state of mind of like, oh, these are a normal dynamic headphone. These aren't a crazy planar that takes 1,000,000 watts to drive. These aren't some sort of fucking thing that needed a converter system. This is just a headphone. It's just a headphone. And it's a dynamic headphone. And you know what dynamic headphones can do? Tubes. And you know what tubes can do? Holy shit, do you know what tubes can do? Because I know what tubes can do. They take this from a very good focal to, okay, these are now $5,000. And the TI-26 is literally a giant step off of most solid states here, and then you go even further to the F11, which isn't even a balanced outputting. Hi, Zeospantera. Patreon, subscribe star, support this channel. If you're not there, then you're missing out on seeing reviews early, participating in yard sales, and the sound demo to these, which you can't get anywhere on YouTube because lawyers. She's dressed very nice. Very nice. That's like the most put together woman. And these are probably the most put together focal headphone. I'm not going to bother pulling out the case. You've seen me unbox expensive focals before. If you haven't, go check out, I don't know, Stelia's, where they have the case that opens up and it's got all these things. And I do have to complain a bunch about some things. There's some comfort issues here, and there's some livability issues here, like here, hold on. There's the wire. $5,000 headphone. And the thing is, it's not like I have infinite amounts of wires. Hard Audio, Periapt, all sending me wires. But I don't even know what this is. What are you? You're like a weird locking, collared locking 2-pin. In fact, you're the same one that's on the Bravura Electrostat. And I figured at least the Electrostat would need this because super high voltages, etc., etc. Nope. Just shove it on this. So whatever the fuck pin this is means I can't change the wire, which has made me pretty much infuriated. And I'm getting that out of the way now. Because I'm going to judge these, solely as sound quality, and I'm going to pretend the wire is good. They usually come with two wires, a short wire that's not balanced, and a balance cable. I want to use the balance cable, and the balance cable is like 8 or 9, 3 meters long. I'm going to go with French units. 3 metre. Carbon fiber. Like, it's the Final Audio makes beautiful headphones. They are gorgeous. When you get up to their D8000s, you can look at it and go, that's their most expensive headphone. Focal? If I put this on your head and I walked 10 feet away, I'd look at you and go, he's got a set of, what are those, Nelex? What are those? I can't, a Celeste? Like, they don't change the design. They just change their build materials, which at one point is like, that's kind of novel. And at the other point is like, just stop what you're doing. Carbon fiber here, like bent and twisted around here. So that's expensive. And you got the twisting action inside the headband. The headband is essentially the same as on every focal. This is why the problem shows up. The cup shape, exactly the same. You got a little bit of red in there behind that. It says Utopia, it says beryllium. The pads, I would love to go start swapping pads in these, but I'm not gonna. And then you start doing this and you realize, oh, those are spring loaded. Here, look at these are strong spring loaded so that they don't sit. And you know what the problem is? They're pushing into my face. Like, I'm like, why am I wearing a $5,000 headphone that's mildly uncomfortable? Like, I wanted to bend the headband. I literally did this to take some of the pressure off of it because it was like compressing and then squeezing, and I was like, ah. But no, we're off that now. We're zen. We're chilled out. The wire is very long and therefore very heavy. So it's not only is it trying to kick in with fucking springs, it's also got gravity pulling at it to try to kick it in. We're zen. We're going to talk about the good things. Big driver in the front. There's a hair. Oh, shit. Okay, I've never seen a headphone do that, and I almost had a heart attack just now. So there was a fucking hair inside the thing. So I look into it, and I blew into the thing. And the whole driver's just back of the excursion, back of the excursion. And I was just going to compliment on how Focal made a headphone that doesn't feel like you're going to break it. And then that happened. I am legit freaked out. And that is live. By the way, mouse pad. I changed the mouse pad. Something a little more stark and interesting and contrasty. I should have gone with the biggest fucking titty waifu I could find. You know that? That doesn't even take a lot. Oh, I'm terrified now. Okay. No, we're just gonna ignore the fact that happens. I keep wanting to push this out, and it just keeps bouncing back. If I could disable that spring, that'd be fantastic. You put them on, they're okay comfort. I'm not gonna give them like, oh my god, they're the most comfortable. They're not Mod House fucking tungstens, which are the most comfortable. And I was playing with them on most normal amplifiers. I got the Rebel amp out for some Class A goodness. By the way, collaboration coming on these. The Geshelli Arcal 3 Pro, and this is the one they tested at they showed off at the Florida Audio Show. This one's actually hand soldered because it was the first one. I got the A90D, I got the LA90, I got the Earman right here, the Ch amp. Hold on, let me make sure you got the Ch amp here. And I've got the TA22. Now, I've been basically sucking the TA22's teat for a while because why go with a tube amp when this is 3 watts per channel, hybrid, and it sounds just like... It doesn't rock these like I'd like to rock these. It actually dulls them a bit too much. And you would think when you plug it into a real tube, that's when you would get the dulling effect. Complete opposite. This hybrid dulls it. And this is the first time this TA22 has let me down in like, oh, this is the best amp on the desk, which is rare. Went over to the TA26, which I'm going to unplug from right now because we'll go back, but if I had to give you my assessment, because here's the thing, we're first going to get amplifiers out of the way, because Zeos' job is to listen to headphones. But Zeos' job is also to assume, what are you using? Because if you try to plug these into the wrong thing, you may not get the right experience, etc., etc. So if we go straight balanced, A90D is as clean as the A90D is supposed to be. Actually beating my LA90. Usually LA90 is the one I go with for a little bit more warmth. But it's not the case with these. If I plug into that, it's like it's not as nice. It's not as nice as that. But then I unplug this, and we're going to ignore you for a second. If I plug into here, it's clearer on the Ch-amp than the A90D. And I'm using an adapter to go from 4.4. So what's that about, mister? Because they're using the same DAC. And then if I pop it onto this adapter for 1/4 inch, we go out of the Class A Rebel amp, and then things just sort of like, things soften in the right way, like the low end is like carried a little bit more. What I'm basically trying to do, because what Zeos tries to do is figure out what the fuck these headphones sound like. And the problem being that all these amplifiers exist, and all these amplifiers make it sound different, so I have to sort of take the mean average of it. Oh god, I love the Rebel amp. The real star was the Geshelli Arcal 3 Pro, though. Because you plug it into this... Yeah, no, it has the clarity of, like, the Earman, but then the warmth of the Rebel amp, it's doing some wild shit. The Sparko... This is a Sparkos collab, so it's got weird op amps in it. And what was that? I was just listening to... Oh... I think for solid state, I'm going to be recommending the Geshelli Arcal 3 Pro, which isn't out yet, but holy fuck. Like, this is an easy win for this table. It's like, okay, that's it. That's your solid state. But then we unplug that and we go right to here. And everything just gets turned up 30% in brightness. And I know I don't want to say like brightness, like, oh, brightness, like treble. So it's treble murder? No. Because this is as clean and linear as you need a $5,000 headphone to be. It's just, you start getting to the actual flavor of the new Utopia. It's literally listed on Mimic Audio, who sent me this, as the new Utopia. Because the old Utopia, I had absolutely zero, like, I was like, yay, I don't give a shit. That was my entire, how it started. It was like, oh, these are expensive. I don't care. It was like the shortest, shittiest roller coaster ride ever. But these, I've heard them. I heard them at a show and they even sounded good. And they weren't even using quality products like the Expo TA26 or the Geshelli Abzalco 3. On the tube, as soon as you get off of everything solid state, and I didn't even bother testing the hybrid just now in front of you, as soon as you plug it into a fucking tube, magic happens. Someone was asking me recently, a company was like, hey, actually, it might have been Black Ice, was like, hey, we want to buy a bunch of headphones to test to show the difference between a solid state and a tube. And I'd love to tell them, oh, just grab the new Utopias. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's in their budget. But holy fuck, this is one of those headphones that is soon. Like, I don't even know. Go back. Let's go back to this, because we're going to go back to the best solid state. Real clean, real smooth, real put together. This is just like absolutely, this left the factory and it sounded that good. And they were like, okay, cool. And then you hit this again. And it's just better. It's just better. And that ain't exactly a fucking, well, this isn't that expensive. And this isn't that expensive. And it's like, oh, and I was going to throw it on that, but I feel like these don't need the power. We are on low gain here, low gain here, low gain here. I don't know how I'm on 68 out of 99, but low gain there. I actually tried it on the, it didn't work too well on the A1, the VMV A1. Again, too efficient. Sometimes a headphone can be too efficient. A lot of these other planars and shit, I was like, power, power, more power, whoa! And then these are just like, please, look at my capris. I am French. Let's just chill. And that's where we're coming in. So now let's unplug this and go to the final amp, which is, oh, I already have an adapter there. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I can leave you here. In fact, I'm going to leave you plugged in here. So now the Black Ice Audio Fusion 11, I'm feeding from a Geshelli Labs DAC that's down there, one of the older JNOGs. And I actually had to lower the gain output. If you know how the JNOGs work, those DACs have 3 settings: full voltage, like half a volt down, and 1 volt down. So about a half a volt down. So they could use the volume knob on this. Hi, because these are super sensitive and this is a monster. I'm getting a little bit of background hum, just the slightest little bit, because I'm plugged into a Class A tube amp, and it's just like it's like angels or I don't know, using vibrators in heaven. I don't know how that works, but so now we're in this, and this ain't cheap, but it's actually for the size and girth, and oh my god, is that thing fucking heavy. Now they're $5,000. The soundstage, the width, everything opened up. Everything is fucking perfect. These are a great headphone for fucking testing amplifiers. I hate those headphones, but I love them. They make it interesting for me. Because if I just sat, like I've sat down in some of my favorite headphones, Meze Lyrics. Meze Lyrics, let's think, it's going to be the 109s. A lot of Mezes. I love a lot of Mezes. A lot of those headphones, you plug them into anything and it sounds great. You know, fucking Meze Lyrics, I plugged them into my phone on the top 3.5 with an adapter. They sounded just as good as every other fucking $2,000 amplifier. And that's kind of like what I love in a headphone. Why should I concern myself with this conundrum? Just make a headphone that works on everything. But with Focal, it's different. With Focal, it sounds good, but oh my god, does it get better and better and better and better. So now we're here with this, which I have actually even adjusted the voltage pots to all match via the screws adjustments there. It's been warmed up long enough. We're set. the headphone out. We're back to Konosuba. It's a Konosuba fucking track. And it's just, as soon as you unpause it, it feels like I'm in like one of those VR experiences in the loo in France. And it's like, we want you to experience music for the first time. Please submerge yourself in our special fluid. Now these compete with things that sound like high-end electrostats. Like, imagine a warm-tuned electrostat. Because where the detail is just fucking being... How does the detail go up on a tube? Usually tubes are there to, like, twist the low end up a little bit, make it softer, make it more lovable. These owls fucking love a tube. There's guitar, right? So guitar, and then I heard someone in the background get up and like move from the two seats behind, exactly 2 seats behind. It's like, well, where was that? Neko Monogatari, by the way. You all need to get in some more anime soundtracks because the fucking quality of the audio is just like, oh god. This is some audiophile shit. If I went to a show and they had $30,000 speakers set up with $30,000 amps and $30,000 DACs and $80,000 cables, this is what they should be playing. And then Ghost Data comes on. Oh my god. Now we're ready to go out into the French nightlife. Now, blowing on the driver and having it like smash against the back of the fucking cup kind of made me a little nervous to like push them. But before I knew that, I was pushing these headphones, like actively just assaulting them with sound, because that was the one thing like Elex didn't like when you pushed them too hard. Stelias are really, you couldn't push them too hard because it was too closed. But there's been some headphones where people buy them, the clear MGs, and they just try to like whip them, and it doesn't. And I feel like these, again, before I saw the driver do, I feel like you could whip these. You could hammer them. More than, I mean, I wouldn't because it's $5,000 fucking dollars, and who wants to call France and be like, hey, I was listening to some shit and it blew up. I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. No one wants to do that. France doesn't even want you to do that. So I would take it easy, but I have initially my impression was no fear of like, oh, I can actually use these. I can actively get Ghost Data on here and listen. But Yoshi Horikawa Fluid. Oh my gods. Yeah, no. I'm being washed over. Now I know that the song is called Yoshi Horikawa's Fluid, and it's literally the sound of drips and waves and stuff, but that's what it feels like. The back of my neck, you know the hairs stand up when you hear a thing? That's these. What's the worst amp? I guess you unbalanced would be like the worst amp. Yeah, no, not selling it to me. Let's go to balanced. Better. All right, now we'll go over here. Ah, yeah. Now here. That's definitely the best solid state. That's definitely the best solid state. I'm just gonna go whoop. And that's the one I want to listen to it on forever and ever and ever, my whole fucking life. My whole life I want to listen to it on that. So once you've worked your way through your massive stack of amplifiers with your $5,000 headphone, and you find the one that makes it sing the greatest, all your music's going to turn into liquid audio. Just paint this and that's why these are so fucking big, because it's just a 2-wire. It's actually a 2-tube. There just must be fluid actually pumping through my ears to make this song happen like this. Liquid methamphetamines. It's just the sounds are bouncing around, and I'm awash in sound. Like the best VR headset ever. I'm no wonder why I got nothing but bangers. These are every song I use in the sound demos. The Expanse, there you go, running. Just a low rumble that just builds up, and then there's like the creepy sci-fi sounds are happening. Creepy sci-fi sounds and low rumblings. Oh, Oh, so yeah, okay, so Focal finally made a headphone in this price range that Roger Rabbit OST? Cool. Focal finally made a headphone that I think deserves $5,000 on the price tag. With an asterisk that you need... Oh, I went to stop it and I actually switched to Nine Inch Nails even deeper. Hold on, let me let the bass kick in with this. Hold on. Oh, God. I don't know if it's the Fusion F11 here, or if it's these headphones, or it's just this track, but... Damn, that bass is fucking... This is where the difference between like a $5,000 dynamic versus a planar or electrostatic comes in. Dynamics will always just be able to deliver that low end more naturally. Because if it's a kick drum, what is a kick drum but a big dynamic driver that's actually physically moving? So you make that smaller and you make it actually physically move, and then you have it. And the fact that it's so soft and easy to fucking change direction, that's where the speed comes in for these. It's all about speed in these headphones. I did the whole thing about, which one did I talk about? The Rawls, with how it moves the air instead of using like a single thing. It's actually compressing a ribbon that's got more surface area. And if you want to make this move fast, you've got to make it light and you've got to make it easy. It can't have any structure that's holding it back, which is why I'm like, don't blow on it. Don't blow these. Don't blow these. So I'm going to give the Utopias... I don't want to give it a number like, oh, give it 9 out of 10, because I mean, for value, they're $5,000. All right, you could pay for like 2 months rent and groceries and maybe a car payment. So you have better already have established your base of operations with amps fucking galore, so that you could pick the one that works best for in your case, because you're not going to have the exact same. I have the weirdest selection of fucking amplifiers here right now. All right, this is some weird shit. No one else has this. Or that, or that, or that, or whatever the fuck's on the shelf. Once you've got that established, once you've gotten... Because, I mean... This is probably better sounding on a tube than HG600s, which doesn't sound like a great comparison, because HG600 Zeos, aren't those like $300? I actually don't know what they run right now. Link to them in the description. HG600s are a very, very great headphone. They're the default, and then you put them on a tube, and they go from being the default great headphone to holy fuck... Now take that and multiply it by a $5,000 price handler, and that's where we are with these. These. So are they perfect out of the box? Kinda. I mean, I did put them on the burner rig. I want to make sure everyone knows everything on this channel ends up on the burner rig. Whether you believe in it or not, whether I believe in it or not, I do it. Just because if I don't, someone will complain I didn't. And if I do, none of you should complain, because that's the same as just using a headphone for a couple of months. These... have problems. The wire is a fucking problem. The comfort, that needs to be... I'd rip these apart. If I own them, I'd go inside, find where that spring is, and cut it. I'd get custom wires made. I don't hate these pads. They are fucking nice. I wish they were a little angled. Just a little angled. I can't really bend this in the way I want to bend it. I want it to encompass the back of my head. So it's got comfort issues, and it's got accessory issues, but every Focal fucking headphone's had accessory issues since the dawn of time. What they've finally worked out is they've got a sound signature. They finally got that lush, fancy fucking sound signature. It's like, okay, you plug it in, you get to the solid state end of it, and it's like, wow, these are impressive. But you wouldn't buy them. If I only gave you the Gashelli Labs, it would be the best you've heard these probably out of any show. But I don't know if you'd spend $5,000. That would push you over the edge. Even the TA26 takes them to a completely different fucking plane of existence. Where, oh God, tubes are reacting and it's doing this thing, and it's, oh yes. So are the Focal Utopia 2022s a yes? Yes. I didn't just sit here complimenting them on their sound and complaining only about comfort. Like... I'm probably going to stop this video and then just continually listen to Nine Inch Nails even deeper all the way to the end of the song. Oh, it's going to end. Oh, I could do the instrumental version. Hold on, if I do that. Why does it do that? I hate that. There. Fucking yeah, man. So all you need is some tubes, and they could be wild tubes, they could be standard tubes, and you get something that's a decent, cheap, high gain amp. I think high gain is going to probably be the thing. Voltage. It's a worry about voltage. But you know, wallpaper available in the Horde. Patreon, subscribe, support this channel. I'd like to thank Mimic for sending these out. I'll be sending them back. So I thank you, all of you who used the link to support me by purchasing them, or anything else from Mimic for that matter. Mimic has quite the selection. They've even got the $30,000 Sonoma setup. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah. No. Patreon, subscribe to support this channel. See reviews early. Participate in yard sales. Yard sales 1st to the 10th of every month. Obviously, these going back. And honestly, if they were like, here, hold on to these forever, they would stay here forever. Like, it's just something about them that if I could taste amplifiers in the way this headphone tastes amplifiers, that's invaluable as a reviewer. That's why the Abyss Dianas are here, because those taste amplifiers, but like a dick, like those, like I was talking about before, where they just need more power. So yeah, $5 a month. See reviews early, participate in yard sales. Here, all the sound demos, the only sound demos available are available privately to patrons and subscribers. And that full list of songs is going to be used in it. For $10 a month, you get in the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, where you can ask me questions directly, ask other people questions directly, get access to like early things, like I'm going to be selling my Rinko IMs there a little bit early, so that people can give like their impressions of it. So that's like something that only like the $10 patrons are getting, unless there's not enough people there to buy the ones we've set aside, and then it'll go out to the actual rest of the patrons. But yeah, for $10 a month, and you get into a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear. So if you want these, you could just say, hey, I'm just going to sell all this, and then I'll take like a $2,000 or $3,000 chunk off of the price of these, and you go with that. So yeah, that hi-fi guides and the supporting, and check out my link tree. Check out my link tree. There's no OnlyFans in my link tree. I tried. Trust me, I tried. But you can find my Instagram, Twitter, all the other social media things, which I occasionally post on. Like if I'm doing live streams and stuff on Twitch, you'll know about it. And there's a public Discord and a public Telegram. There's a whole lot of shit. Check out all my shit. There's so much to look at and enjoy. But yeah. I wish these didn't look the same. Like just make this silver or something. Like carbon fiber is great, but they're just... What headphone are they? What headphone are they? No one knows. Time to remove the classy wallpapers and get back to the smut. I'll see you all tomorrow or the next day on any of my channels.